Yes, and welcome to Vasili's Garden. Folks, we had a wonderful workshop here today, fruit tree workshop, talking about grafting in particular on fruit trees. We had a great crowd that turned up, as well as Craig Castry, who demonstrated a lot of different grafting techniques. So much so that he got excited that he decided to do some grafting on my trees. Yeah, that's right, Craig, you attacked my trees. I gave you my permission to, by the way, anyway, but this is what he's done, folks. Look what's happened here. This is the pear tree that I've given up the ghost with, because we've cut it back a few times to try and get some buds to burst there by doing some undercuts, and it's given up. So we've cut it right back and we've left a few spurs on here, but it's very weak and flimsy. They're not thick, there's no vigor in them. They're struggling. Where all the vigor is, all this upright growth, that's where the vigor's been coming from. And Craig's just cut some of these back to see if we can get these to fruit for us, which is what I did about 3 years ago, and they did nothing, absolutely nothing. They just kept shooting straight up from these cuts, these buds, went straight up again, and I gave up. So I started cutting back the tree. We've opened it up completely. We've left a few weak branches, not weak branches, lower branches where they've got a few spurs on them that hopefully start to plump up. But instead of just waiting on those, and I've been hiding it, have a look at this. He's cut the limb off. Well, I'll correct. I cut the limb off, folks. He didn't cut it off. I actually took to it with the chainsaw. We've cut it off, and we've done a bark graft here. So that's getting a young sprout here that we had growing up there, some of the vigor from this year's summer's growth that we had, taken it off to a couple of buds, 2 or 3 buds, and inserted it here. Now in this case here, you can do 2 or 3 along this branch if it was an upright branch. So if it's growing up like that, like a trunk, for example, if we cut the trunk down here, remember there's a huge root system underground here that's going to be very active in springtime with lots of sap flow coming through, moisture. It's got to go somewhere. So if we were to cut it here, we could install 3 or 4 of these little cuttings or sign wood, which in turn can become the structure or the scaffold for the future tree to become. Now we decided to cut it here, well I decided, because I didn't want to take it down to the ground as yet, because I need this for the rest of the demonstrations with the workshops. So we're working it with this, and maybe in the next one we may cut this one off as well and regraft it here, although there's a little bit of a hole here I've just noticed. Anyway, we may cut it somewhere around here, or even just here, and get it to sprout up again. And then by the third workshop, which is the last one that he's got to do, we'll end up cutting the other one. So if you want to learn about grafting, now's the time to get into it, by the way. So you can do a Z-graft, you can do a bark graft like this, and there are other types of grafts. And in fact, there are dozens of different types of grafts that you can implement on your trees, depending on the type of tree, the type of graft that you need to do, the age of the plant as well, and obviously the type of wood that you're working with. Now, you can learn all this from our workshop, and which is what we're going to demonstrate only the 20th of July. We have available seats left. Everything else is booked out, folks. So if you want to come to the workshop, book it now before it sells out. There's only 4 or 5 seats left for you to be able to come and learn how to do this, watch it in real time, and go out to the orchard and learn how to graft. We'll be doing some demos as well on our upcoming episodes, but for the real life hands-on experience, this is the only chance you have. Check it out on our website, vasilisgarden.com. Bark grafting, cleft grafting, Z grafting, and all other types of grafting that you need to learn so you can populate the variety of fruit on your little orchard. It can be only one tree, but you can't put oranges on apples. Remember that. From me, Vasili, Maresi.